Well, that was quite a rough encounter. I will preface this by saying that I was already starting to have a bad day. And I saw that little. Not a sponsor. This is not an elaborate ad, but I saw that Little Caesars today and tomorrow is selling pizza for $5. So I asked my aunt and my older sibling if either of them have Amazon Prime to get me the deal. And my aunt said yes and obliged. And then a normal amount of time for someone to be on the way past, and they started, the driver called me, or sorry, the driver's passenger, I assume, called me, and it was a lady, and I gave her instructions with a landmark, the road I'm on, and the road you have to take to get to the road I'm on. And they asked me about a road I have never been on. And I was like, I don't know about that road. Look for this road with this landmark. And this is the description of the, appearance of my house from the street. And everything that works for anybody else to get here. And I assumed the man driving refused to use his GPS. Because he thought he didn't need GPS. 5, maybe 10 at the most minutes later, I'm trying to enjoy the stream my buddy is doing. And I get another call from the same lady. She puts me on speakerphone. And the man who is driving, instead of taking the phone to speak to me, yells over the noise of his engine and the open window. I don't like the sound of men yelling. I think, as someone who has been in therapy since I was 3, if I still have a problem with men yelling, maybe it's society we have to fix. I think that when people are disabled enough to need delivery for a fucking $5 pizza, and they tip well, you should at least use your GPS. After he yelled at me, I said, do not yell at me. And he said, I'm on speakerphone. I continued trying to explain to them for a bit. Here's the road. Here's the road to get to it. The landmark. That's all they should need. And they kept asking me, well, what side of, this part of Hillsville are you on? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never lived in fucking Hillsville before. I didn't say it like that. I just said I cannot answer that question. And eventually I said, if you don't know where the hell very commonly used road is, I can't help you. He started arguing with me again. And I said, just turn around. I do not have time for this. After that, I hung up. I let my aunt know what had happened. She gave me the number to contact support. I contact support. And while I'm talking to support, they come to my house anyway. I told them not to. So there's one thing. Then they knock and 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 knock. Even though I'm literally on the phone with their support center. I hope my ears deceived me, but I believe they entered my house. Because my back door, which is the entrance to the house, the glass door wasn't latched. Because I thought I was about to go grab delivery. And after I told them to turn around, I didn't think I had to lock my fucking door on a delivery driver. In the big 2026. After I did not answer my door because I was on the phone listening to hold music while the operator called the driver to let them know to leave me the fuck alone. At this point, I had already started crying because they were at my door when I told them not to. And I was on hold when I hear voices enter my mudroom. And then they get quiet again. And then I'm still listening to the hold music. And then it goes quiet. And I'm like, hello, hello? And I see them through my front door window. And they're yelling to contact me. They couldn't call me to let me know that they were outside. They just had to see me in person. After I had made it known they were not welcome. I should not have to specify why they are not welcome. For them to understand that this is my abode. This is my house. This is not an apartment complex where you can go to the front office and ask if it's okay if you deliver it anyway to get that sweet tip. And the worst part of all this is I can't eat when I am upset. You know what I think got them to leave? Is that they saw I was arming myself with a phone to my ear through the gap between the two blinds. And that's when they backed off finally. I will look on the bright side. This is definitely making me reconsider how to get out of my house in an emergency. I need to cut a path through my prairie acre in the front strategically. Which I was going to do anyway for other reasons, but I just. Way to prove me right, you know? If you can't figure out how to address a customer over the phone, and your excuse for yelling is not, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, let me get closer to the phone, but is, I'm on speakerphone. And then when I tell him I no longer consent to this encounter, he goes through with it anyway. I want to destroy the pizza. I don't want to eat it. Well, anyway, I will be going to bed. Um, I took my meds already to help calm myself down. So until my Lybalvi kicks in enough for me to go to sleep, I will be watching my friend's stream. I will see you on the next one. Bye.